That's because he's getting ready to turn the speakers on. All right? All right.
Everybody gets quiet when that happens.
Yeah. We're going to call it 6 o'clock. This is the meeting, City Council, regular meeting, City Council, City of Dalhart, Tuesday, September 22nd. And we will begin with a prayer. Two of my members of my council are not here that usually handle that for us, so I'll do my best. If you'll bow with me. Father God, thank you for the blessings you give us. Thank you for today. Thank you for all that you do for us, for holding us, showing us the way. Please wrap your arms around our first responders, our city employees, this council, and this city. Help us to make good decisions, to be prepared, and always look to each other for guidance. We say this in your blessed name. Amen.
Amen.
First item on a regular agenda is the consent agenda of the minutes of the regular meeting from September 8th, 2020. Any questions or concerns?
Motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On a regular agenda, the first thing on our items are conduct the public hearing for the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Hi.
Let me kind of give a synopsis.
You can give
We
us
started?
that.
Okay.
Sure thing.
We started out with 55 Sports Club and looking at that when they left the building, we through the funds from Dalhart County, we redid the building out there to provide a parks program. And we're wanting to make some improvements out there with the splash pad and possibly a big toy to improve the whole area. And doing so, and then looking forward to all of our parks. PRPC is going to work on a master park plan where we can apply for up to $1 million in grant funds in the future. But this right now is we're looking at $150,000. And Rotary is kind of going to be the face of their project. Barbie is here representing them it's a 50-50 match on the grants. So we're looking to possibly get up to a $300,000 project to do a splash pad and possibly a big toy in the middle of the park is what we're looking at for a start. We have a committee that was put together when we started all this, and like I said, it went through the summer and we've had Community Connect and classes. And like I said, we've done some other things, but overall we want to improve everything that's out there. So this is Catherine, she's with the PRPC, and she's here to basically do the conduct public hearing, and then we have items as far as that we have to carry out as far as the agenda to meet those requirements for the grant. So I think you can carry on.
That kind of starts it all off. I'll just give y'all a little bit more information about me, about the PRPC, and what we're going to do. So my name is Catherine English, and I'm new to the Local Government Services Department of the Panhandle Regional Planning Commission, but I've been there for 4 years in their area agency on aging. So it's great to get out and to be in Dalhart for a different reason, and this time that's parks. So the Panhandle Regional Planning Commission, if y'all are familiar with it or not, we are authorized under the Texas Local Government Code to partner with the 63 cities and the 26 counties of the Texas Panhandle. And so what we do for our cities and those counties looks a little bit different all over. But one of the main things that we do is grant administration. And in this way, it also means preparing applications for those grants. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. And that's what this is a public hearing for y'all to give any comments on what this application process would look like. So the PRPC, we charge application development at no cost. We do this as a courtesy to our cities, just as a way to get their foot in the door and to use some of our expertise in that application development and getting these valuable grant funds. But what we also do in that is if Dalhart was to be awarded this grant, we just ask for y'all to consider the PRPC and administration of that grant. And so what that means are any of the requirements that you have to meet for Texas Parks and Wildlife, everything that you have to go through for reimbursement, making sure that you check all of those boxes once you receive those grant funds. That's what we help you do. And so again, this application process, really there's no harm for the city because you would be incurring no cost. This is just something that we develop for y'all. Again, as James mentioned, it is a total of $300,000. That could be the total cost of the project. It's a 50/50 match. So if you put in the total amount of grant funds, that would be $150,000. Now that's something that, some communities don't put forward that entire match, and that's okay. But if you have the ability to put forward that $150,000, you're looking at that $300,000 project. The deadline to apply is November 5th, and that's going to be for this small communities grant. Now, what we are doing at the same time is starting development of a master parks plan. And what that is just to give the city a vision for the future and what they want the parks to look like. It's also a valuable opportunity for the public to give comments on what they would like to be considered in that plan and like to see in the parks moving forward. But again, this hearing today is just focused on the small communities grant. That's master parks plan. Oh, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, you might mention them, if any of you haven't filled out the survey for the park department, get on our website. I think it's shared on the chamber, the college, the county, anywhere you can fill it out, and let it know. And so we want to try to include everybody in this, and as far as what we can improve in the community.
Absolutely. And I think at this time we have 609 responses on that online survey that we've set up, which is really fantastic. I think we're looking for us to reach that 10% mark of your population. So if maybe we get one more big social media push, we might have that 200 responses that we need to get about 10% response there. But yeah, if y'all would participate in that, the survey is specifically focused on improvements to the Rita Blanca Lake Center. So that's one of those that they've kind of chosen to focus on for this grant is what are some of the improvements that people would like to see out of the Lake Center. And just initially, we're still, taking responses on that survey, but what we've seen so far is that the majority of folks are interested in getting a splash pad, and new playground equipment is right up there too, and one of those top priorities. So that's where this comes into play is, the PRPC will assist with developing this application. We'll turn it in before November rolls around, and hopefully the city is able to gain that $150,000 with their match amount as well to get that project. Now, something else I may mention is that whenever it comes to application development, the projects that we talk about, they're pretty broad strokes. So whenever we talk about any splash pad or playground equipment, what this application is not for a specific sort of playground or splash pad. It's just in general. So these projects take a lot of time and have a lot of administration on them. And so really, if you think about construction or putting something in the ground, we're looking at maybe 2 years from now. That's if everything kind of goes as planned. So a lot can change during that time, and Texas Parks and Wildlife, they're very flexible during this process as well. So we even met with somebody on Monday in Kittyquay. They're getting a park, and Texas Parks and Wildlife was there, and they said, if it comes to the time where they're actually implementing that, you've been awarded the grant funds, you have a contract. Let's say you said that you wanted a playground. Anywhere within that site area that they've approved, you can place that playground equipment. So it's something that really you have a lot of flexibility there once you've been awarded grant funds. So a lot of things can change, and they're very open to that, which is nice. A couple of the requirements that we do need to check off as we get started in this application. One of the big ones is that mining ordinance. So council members, you'll see that in your agenda packet. But for the public, Texas Parks and Wildlife, they require that individuals pass an ordinance within their city that prohibits mining and drilling in a park area. And really, that's just to protect the parkland. One of the other stipulations with these grant funds is that these lands are designated as parkland in perpetuity. So again, really, they tell us all the time, they don't want to come back and see an Allsup's on the corner, but that's really one of the things that they look for there. And the other thing is we just have our resolution to apply. It's also on the agenda. If y'all would be willing to move forward with that. Now, the last thing that I'll mention here, and this is where the public can play a key part as we have this public hearing, is that community input. So one of the main things that Texas Parks and Wildlife likes to see in these applications is that community need. And so the survey has been an important piece of this because we've seen that there is a gap, so to speak, in the recreational opportunities that are provided. There's not an existing splash pad. So that's one of the things that we can look for at talking about that community need. But really, if there's any sort of local support that we can garner from this to include in that application, I think they've gotten letters from school children and drawings of parks that people always love to include. But it really, if any community members are, in support of this project or this application in any way, garnering those letters of support always goes a long way. So really that wraps up all of the sort of basics and kind of the things about the grant. If there are any public comments, we can take those now or any questions from the council. And if not, that's great.
I may mention, we already have 2 or 3 people that have made some donations. I think somebody from Rotary gave them $1,000 already for this. Hillmar, we know 5,000 that they're looking at giving to us, but they're actually looking at the project of possibly giving more. Their big boss is from California is coming in, and so they're going to be touring out there, and they like what we saw out there with their people that they have local. We also have the gun range as part of our master park plan. We took Catherine out there to see that. Judge, you got anything you want to add? Or
I think y'all covered it all. I mean, I think it's been a great cooperative project between the 2 counties and the city. Hopefully it's something that some grant money is available for that can just keep expanding for the community.
I didn't mention the other county, Ronnie from Hartley County is they're going to donate some funds that where West gets his for the operations out there. So that pays for all the personnel. Ronnie said that they're going to donate to that as well for the operation out there.
So Catherine, you need involvement. You need people to fill out the forms that if they haven't already. And your goal is how many? 200?
600.
600?
Well, we have 600 responses on the survey so far.
And you need 200 more.
Yes. So if we could get 800 people to respond, that'd be fantastic. And again, that survey, getting those responses there, it helps to inform this project that we're applying for now. But really what it's key in doing is opening up the ability for y'all to score additional points on applications that we would apply for in the future that would really be the big money that James was talking about.
For the master plan.
Yeah, we've got
Yes.
some older park equipment that you can't get parts for, and hopefully we'll be able to replace several of those.
Yes, so that's one of the things that Texas Parks and Wildlife looks for is that cities have this with the master parks plan. Again, that's something that the PRPC develops for cities at no cost. And that just puts you in a better position to access additional funds in the future.
Okay. Any public comments? Anything that you would like Catherine to know? Council? You're on that?
One thing that comes to my mind, I mean, most people are honest, and trying to take care of stuff, but we've always got a few that I'd just like to see how much they can destroy. And, what I'm wondering about, if we count on the police department to patrol, regular patrol area.
Sure.
Can I address?
Yeah.
Absolutely. My guys go out there on the daily anyway. I tell you that even Hartley County, Dalhart County go out there on a regular basis. We have a program in our computers where I can see where my officers go on a shift, and I can tell you every officer goes out there at least once, twice a day.
And they also have cameras out there that they can view from their office.
Oh, yeah. I can sit at my desk and watch out there.
Very good deal.
That sounds like fun.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, thank you. Catherine, anything else?
Fantastic. I think that's it. That's it for the public hearing portion at least. So,
Okay.
we're
All
good.
right. We'll try to get the rest of this done for you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is public comments. I've got two folks that would like to talk. We'll ask these folks to come to this podium when they come up to talk. And James, if you'll set a timer for 3 minutes for each one. Kelly McMurray.
Okay.
Oh, you decided not to? Okay, all right. Ashley. Oh, wait, you decided not to too?
So mine's unrelated to the Texas Parks thing. I just wanted to address the mayor and the city council on this, on behalf of the board of directors of the Dalhart Chamber. The Dalhart Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors are writing this letter on behalf of the businesses and the citizens of Dalhart. While we understand and appreciate the dedication that Dalhart OEM has put forth for our community, we believe it is time for our community to make their own choices. After speaking with surrounding communities who have returned to normal, some even allowing their businesses to open at 100% and events to take place, community leaders have not seen a huge increase in their case numbers. The local officials I spoke with said, and I quote, "We're letting our citizens be adults. If they're sick or immune compromised, they need to stay home. If they feel the need to wear a mask, wear a mask." In fact, in May, Moore County Hospital released a statement that due to the COVID-19 cases remaining low in their area, they demobilized portions of their COVID response and returned to a more regular care posture. Keeping all the above in mind, we believe it is time to listen to the Dalhart citizens. It is time to let our community have the freedom to choose. If they want to go to an event, wear a mask, or fill their businesses, please don't let our prospering community diminish. Our businesses and organizations need Dalhart to reopen. Dalhart OEM has done a great job at advising about the safe practices to protect against the spread of COVID, as well as the risk of contracting the virus. Our citizens have complied for 7 months now, and it is time to give our citizens the freedom of practice these measures and let everyone live their lives. In conclusion, the Dalhart Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors have all agreed that this letter speaks to the community's desires as well as our own. We believe that Dalhart OEM officials, along with CDC guidelines set forth, have successfully educated and prepared our citizens during this time, and for that, we're truly thankful. We hope you take our consideration in all sincerity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind, if you'll get a copy of that
Yes.
to our city secretary, I'll make sure that all the council members get it. Okay? All right. Any other? That's the only two I got. Chief, is that it?
I got this.
Okay. All right. Next item on our agenda is to consider and act upon ordinance 2020-18. This ordinance prohibits drilling and mining within the city park area of the city of Dalhart, Texas, and providing for a penalty for violating this ordinance and declaring that an emergency exists. This is part of this agreement that Catherine has asked us that we need to do through the city's parks and recreation. Okay. I need a motion and a second.
So,
Okay, we have a motion. Second to approve ordinance number 2020-18. All in favor?
aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Next item on our agenda, consider and act upon resolution 2020-09, a resolution of the city of Dalhart designating certain officials as responsible for, acting for, and on behalf of the city of Dalhart in dealing with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for the purpose of participating in the local park grant program. James, You, who else?
Me or Brent, either one, it doesn't matter. Like I said, Rotary, that's why we wanted to word it differently, because we're gonna have Rotary is gonna be the face of this.
Okay.
They're gonna try to actually raise enough funds to, offset.
Do the matching part.
Yeah.
Very good.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, everyone
We've
understand
asked
that?
EDC
Okay,
to do it up to the amount, so we can apply, but we'll hope we get a lot of participation.
okay, good, good. That's ordinance 2020-09. Motion?
Make a motion. A second.
Motion and second to approve ordinance 2020-09. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. This is a public hearing and second reading of ordinance 2020-13 on the proposed zone change from section 5, block 48, H&TC Railroad Company, City of Dalhart, Dalhart County, Texas, from R3 residential to commercial zoning to establish a manufactured home park. This is our second reading. I need a motion to open.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded to open the second reading of ordinance 2020-13. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anything else we need to know? Code?
Everything's good. Go get a final survey and everything, we'll have a final description. Once it's approved, then we'll get all the final numbers.
Okay.
Exactly.
I noticed that we're not going to, even though this is our second reading, we're not going to have, it's not on the deal for us to. Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay. So we can pass it on this one and that gets you going where you need to be. Okay. Any comments from the council?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to express my concerns about zoning a change into commercial for the development of the manufactured home park due to the possibility of future ramifications and latitudes taking place during the development of the project. We have different zoning for development for a mobile home park,
Okay.
a manufactured home park.
Manufactured home park instead of commercial. Okay. Commercial is bigger and it is wider. That's correct. If, what is council?
I like what he said. Did we not have the same problem situation happen?
I thought we discussed it originally, but I think there was some reason to go back to commercial. What was the reason to go back to commercial?
Originally, the back half of that is already commercial.
Okay,
It's supposed to have all been trailer manufactured home park.
okay. So you understand the council's concern is that we pass this as a commercial, and then instead of him deciding to, change my mind, I'm gonna put a service station in or whatever else, a commercial truck parking lot. That creates a concern for the neighbor.
Correct. But, I mean, this can be put in the stipulation too in the zoning change.
Do we stipulate things like that? Okay, now because you're gonna bring to the zoning board or to the council, you don't have a plat yet of how many trailers you're gonna put in or anything else, correct?
Correct. That was after, we're gonna have the survey done after.
After he gets permission, okay.
Find out exactly.
So if we put in the minutes that we want to approve this being commercial for the use and only the use of a manufactured home park, and that any changes from that have to be cleared through the council.
Correct. That can be done.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Council, is that okay?
I like that.
Is that okay with you? Is that wording good?
You look in part of the zoning characteristic, it says under C district regulations, residential uses are not compatible with the environmental created in the district of a commercial property.
Right. And so what we're saying is we do it commercial so we can go ahead and get his design in. But we do it commercial with the understanding that it must be, and we can put that in the wording of the minutes, it must be used for the manufactured home park only.
And I know that there are some plans spoken outright about other development on that property that does not apply to a mobile home or manufactured home park.
Right. But he's not big enough unless he uses the whole piece.
Well, that's what the consideration with the concern comes in with commercial property. And it was discussed previously that Board of Adjustments could make adjustments and variances on some of these
And
things.
they gave him that quarter of a stick or whatever that was, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, even on past that, that was brought up by Brian Walton, that, Board of Adjustments could still come in and make variances on it.
On this, inside the
That's what
manufactured
was
home
brought
park?
up, and it was concurred that,
Okay.
the adjustment, they could apply to adjustments
Okay,
for it. I'm not speaking against the manufactured home park, it's just wanting it to be all the way it's supposed to be.
okay. So would, what would your recommendation, how would you feel? How do y'all feel about this? Do we want to table this and have them bring it back under the correct zoning rules?
I have a question on
Yes, sir.
that part. If part of it's already commercial.
Right.
What would that do? It would stay commercial.
That part's going to stay commercial, but the other's going to remain
They
R3.
would have to go back and rezone that for the MH.
Yeah.
So it would be a rezoning from commercial to MH.
But we've got a definition of the entire plot, of the entire
Correct.
piece of land.
And it's
which
not
is-
separated
Which
out.
is not, well, we're gonna zone the whole thing one thing.
Correct. I
And we're gonna,
understand.
even though this other's already commercial, we're gonna call this entire plat. And we have to approve it. And the plat has to be brought to us, and the Adjustment and Appeals went ahead and gave him that 0.09
To get
acre.
the
thing,
acreage,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But
So,
in the future latitudes, if you come back in, what does that impact? I just had the consideration, it's going to put a lot of pressure on code to keep all of this in line.
Well,
If we could go in and change things back and forth.
you are more than welcome to request a table of this item and ask code to come back with the correct verbiage for to rezone and give us the entire space, total amount of property.
Under commercial, a mobile home park is allowable.
Yeah, but so is a lot of other stuff. And the
think that's his
concern from the
concern.
council-
I think that's what.
from the
it's-
council member is, we don't want other stuff. We don't have a problem with the,
Can we amend this and say it's MH instead of
I don't
commercial?
know, because we've been asking for it to be commercial. So the only thing we can do is to table this, ask code to come back with the correct verbiage for for a manufactured mobile home park for that entire piece of property. And
It won't be up to code. He'll have to change the zoning on that commercial property.
Zoning board.
He'll have to go through a whole code change
okay.
if you're gonna do that.
Okay, well, we don't want it to be anything else but a manufactured home park. We don't want it to be something else.
That's what'll have to be.
Only other thing we can do is put it in some pretty hard and fast terms in the zoning, in this ordinance right here, that it must be and shall always be, unless, and if it's not, then we pull that entire thing out, and we have the right to pull it and turn it all back in.
We've done one of those recently for the same
I don't
guy.
have any problem with that, as long as we have guarantees that it is properly developed. Because in some locales, they come back and they get in the middle of it and they put in under a commercial zoning.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact business plan that he has, but he has had 2 terms involved in it and going to the other committees. And, it impacts the residents.
Okay, including the people that are gonna be in that manufactured home park.
Correct.
So
And I have no problem with doing it with, voting for the commercial, as long as we have the guarantees applied to it.
okay. And part of that guarantee is that if it's not met as a manufactured home park only, that we can go in and pull all of it back and pull it all back into R3 residential and have you move everything off. Code can watch that, I guess, a little bit.
You can
have
actually
not
put that
seen-
on our maps.
Yeah, we haven't seen our a plat yet, so we don't know the design. But I certainly don't have a problem with putting that in the motion.
How would that look on the CAD records? Will it just say commercial?
No, it's actually when they create their plat, the plat will say manufactured home when they put it out.
So when you search on the CAD records, it's gonna say MH
I don't
instead
know.
of commercial?
I don't know. I don't know how we would,
It's gonna say commercial.
it's gonna have to say commercial because that's what we're giving it.
Right.
Yeah,
Because my understanding, when it's commercial, it's commercial.
yeah.
You don't put attachments to it on record.
Well, but we can put attachments to it in the minutes.
And the other, and thing we brought up, that we bring up there, we've had, in Ward 1, we have had 3 different residential type developments that were zoned commercial, and there was no recourse for let them to proceed
Right.
the way they wanted to do it on other things outside of that area. And then in other areas, we've had the same situation.
And the zoning board's very aware of that, and we've talked about how to rewrite that commercial property thing. It's a tier, and the further down you go, the bigger it is, right? So this is a pocket, I think. But I don't have a problem with going back to zoning board. I mean, it takes another month. If you guys aren't comfortable with it, go back to zoning board, bring it back as a manufactured home park.
Well, in
They've
the
already-
future, if we're already gone and everybody's done, and the 20 years from now, somebody wants to put something else in there, nobody who's gonna go back on the records and look that it's,
Who's gonna see?
That's what I was gonna say about the CAD
That's probably
record.
true.
you
Okay.
know, I mean, they'd have to know, somebody knows
It'll
that.
be
it's-
more than a month because it'll have to be advertised back out if you're gonna change the zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll have to be another application process.
Okay. Can we waive, can the council
You can,
waive the reapplication fee?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an option. We can waive the reapplication fee and have him start over as a manufactured home park.
If that's what it was intended to
He's
do.
already received the permission from the clearance, whatever we call that, the 0.0 something acres, right? So has to go back out. He's gonna have to pay another fee, but we can waive the fee. And then it's permanently that. We don't have to worry about it. And on the CAD records or anything else, everyone will know that's what it is.
I like that idea.
Is that kind of y'all's opinion? Okay. So I need a motion to table this and to ask the board, ask code to start over with the correct procedures.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second to table ordinance 2020-15.
would you include that you're gonna waive the fee?
Okay,
Yes.
waive the fee.
Yeah, we'll waive the fee.
I have a motion and second to table ordinance 2020-15 and request code to go back, start over, and turn this into, to take that entire piece of property that was described as east 15 feet and lot 13, lot 11, and 12. Yeah, this one at 13, okay, 2013 and 2015. 2015 is
Something
the,
different.
oh, okay, 2013, sorry. Thank you, good eye. All right, so for resolution 2020-13, we're going to table that. And we're going to waive the fee, ask code to come back with a complete plan that is just for manufactured homes. And we will rezone it that way as quickly as we can, all right? All in favor, let's see, everybody, y'all in favor?
Yes.
Is there anyone opposed to this? Okay. That's taken care of. Next item, ordinance 2020-15, and this is the proposed zone change of the east 15 feet of lot 13, lot 7 and lot 12, block 67 in the Blair division from R3 to place a manufactured home. That's 1020 Matlock. Carolina Esquivel?
I make a motion, we open the second reading of ordinance 2020-15.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to open the second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Comments?
Good.
Everything's good?
2 lots, brand new double wide.
Okay. Plenty of room, plenty of clearance?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Any other comments from anyone?
Is this the one where there was a question about ownership of the land?
Is that taken care of?
Yes.
Yes.
It was-
Okay. So we have somebody, the person who's putting the trailer on it owns the property? Perfect. Okay. Is that the only concern? Okay. Have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to close second reading of ordinance 2020-15. Can we pass that ordinance now?
Yes, it's part of your second reading.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I need a motion to pass ordinance 2020-15.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Item number 7, consider and act upon recommendations to fill vacant positions on the Economic Development Corporation Board. We had one person resign and one person that wants to switch positions. On the board this year, on our EDC board, we have 2 council members, 4 at large, something like that. I forget what the rules are, and some ex officio members. This year, coming off the board, Clinton said he would serve again, but Sherry said she would be glad to serve. So Clinton's going to back off and let Sherry serve. So she's going to be I'm going to ask for a recommendation to put her on the EDC. The other recommendation, after some consideration, I need a motion to put Sherry and.
We need a motion to remove Clinton.
No, Clinton's time it expires at the end of September. So,
Okay.
okay. So beginning October 1, we need 2 people.
I'd make the motion that we,
The other members that are coming up, Sherry DeYoung,
Rhonda McMillan.
Rhonda McMillan. Is that it? Sherry DeYoung, Rhonda McMillan. Okay.
Jean.
They have agreed to serve again. Okay.
so you want all those names?
So yeah, we need Sherry DeYoung, Rhonda McMillan.
Troy Ferguson and Sherry Haskey.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd make that motion that we appoint them to the Economic Development.
Okay.
Board.
So we have a motion and a second to appoint those 4 to the Economic Development for is it 2-year or 4-year term?
2.
2-year. Okay, for a 2-year term. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. We now have a full EDC again. October 1, your jobs begin, okay?
You got a raise?
And your job.
No, more responsibility.
0.
Yeah.
More responsibility.
You're responsible. James, item number 8 is our budget amendments. And every year, this time of year, y'all haven't been around this time of year when we do a budget. At the end of the year, we have things that we have to bring into balance, and some of those require us to do budget amendments. And so, James, you want to walk through those?
I'll actually let Brent walk you through this on this.
Come on up.
I don't have my copy.
That's what I thought he said coffee.
And these were all approved throughout the year by the council.
Yeah. And what it is these things are different than our original budget.
We have to do these for the auditors.
Right.
And if you follow the proposed, which is basically the 4th row, the farthest row with the big black square rectangle around it, that's really what you're approving. Those are the numbers. The rest of it is just sort of explanatory. But if you go through it, the very first one, 2,600,000 is an adjustment to revenue, and that, and the explanation there is we got COVID funding and we also got the debt, the COs that came in. So that's all that's saying. And if you go further, that is the entire general fund all the way to the next black one, which is on the 3rd page, for $806,317.81. Now, I didn't just skip over all that, but if you follow that same 4th row, you can see an explanation for each one of those. If you have a specific question, or I can explain each one of those to you.
And I think I told y'all with the COVID money that we got, it was basically every city and every county got a certain amount based on $55 per capita.
Okay.
And if we don't use it by the end of the year, we won't get it.
Okay.
We had a certain amount that was allotted to us that we received. We took it, sent the paperwork in, and we got it done and got it back. The only other, if there's any additional through funding, mainly it's going to be probably Curtis and Connor's salaries. We're doing tracing and things like that with that. So if there's any other funds with that, that's all that'll be.
Any of that have to be repaid?
That'll be next year because
Okay.
it's through maybe into the next budget year.
Okay.
And we created some line items for those because we have some expenses that we're putting in there now. That's why it says 91,000 there for COVID expenses. Even if we didn't spend it all, I just used the whole number to add it into the budget.
I tried to pay for the machine, but we got it too
A little
soon,
too early.
a little too early.
So the total amount of budget amendments that we're having to do is how much?
This part that I'm talking about now is in the general fund. The total there is 806,317.81.
Yeah.
I have a question on Parks and Cemetery, the $389,061.81 for the rec center.
Those were the expenditures that went out, and we also got revenue that came in. And if you go back to the beginning, that revenue is in there. But that wasn't a budgeted item. That was an item you guys approved to do that ended up not being done. So, but we still have to mark it as.
It's zeroed out.
It's zeroed out.
Yeah.
You were gonna blame the cemetery.
Nope.
But we have to show it as a
We was gonna do hopscotch over
in
it.
revenue.
Okay.
You want a paper trail in and out?
Yeah, in and out.
Mhm.
When we got it, we set those two line items up and like I said, everything that came in is exactly what went out.
And sanitation is there. Oh, gosh. I was gonna make note the paperwork wasn't done properly.
Clerical error.
We're still on speaker.
I can explain that if you want to know what it is. We moved some employees around and I didn't put that new employee into that budget item when we set this up a year ago. So
Grant.
Yeah. Good. So the general fund adjustment, is there any other adjustments in here?
yeah, if you go past the general fund, then you go to the water sewer fund,
Okay,
which is the next group. The water well construction that's been going on for a number of years, we never budget that total, so I have to wait till the end of the year, or now in this case, it's gonna be the end of the project. And that 428,740.78 that you see there, that was the last bills for the water well project.
okay.
So we're just adding those back in. The subdivision and wastewater that you see there for 74,000, that is the expenses we didn't budget for, as you through the year approved, getting some I don't know.
Design work.
Design works, okay.
Subdivision over
Okay.
there for
Okay.
water and sewer.
Okay.
And the other is a grit chamber repair that they did, which was discussed
Oh, I remember that one.
some months ago. And that's a total adjustment of 577,000, but you can see the bulk of that is just the water well construction that was there. And then there's other two small items.
And that came out of the water fund anyway, that
It came out of the $10 million.
$10 million grant?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, we don't know, as we're going.
You ain't got all the bills yet.
We don't know what the
Yeah.
budget, because
Okay.
we don't know what the expenditures will be,
Okay.
because it's been over 3 years
Okay,
total. The next one is just the lake, and we just moved some money around. That's a transfer, that 55,000, where you're looking at the total revenues. That's just more transfer from the general fund to make up for, you can kind of see it on the other end, but we haven't rented the Coliseum, we haven't rented any of that stuff out there. So the general fund helps out the lake fund in order to do that.
Plus the 15,000 that we allocated to build gun range.
right.
Yes. And then if you skip to the expenditures there, you'll see the lake center, water usage, and then lake center. Some of this is going to be reimbursed, and that's coming from the county.
Okay,
And the final is just the hotel occupancy, and all that is just increased revenue because we're getting more.
so the revenue from hotel occupancy is actually up.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Pretty amazing.
Hotel occupancy and sales tax are
And
way.
sales tax, both of them up. Wow.
I like it. There's supporting locals,
Well, and,
travel.
yeah, somebody, who was it that told us, somebody from the state told us that a lot of people have bought
Motorhomes.
motorhomes and toys.
Amarillo told me that.
And,
Lubbock and Amarillo,
and
18%
when
up.
we register those, we get a percentage of that.
Yeah.
So everything from a razor to a motorhome to a boat to a whatever, so.
Perfect.
One of the things that was mentioned last night at the EDC was the sales tax that we get now from the laws changing for buying online. It's really starting to catch up. It doesn't show me in the reports how much that is, only that it exists, because all the sales tax, goes through the state.
Right.
And they send us our portion of it.
Yeah,
Doesn't tell me exactly what that.
our
that came
comptroller
from, but-
report used to be just, like that.
Right.
Now it's like that because everybody that anybody buys from on the internet, it shows them listed as.
Amazon dollars.
Yes.
All right. So,
So it's almost like you're shopping locally when you order online.
any questions about the budget amendment? Any concerns? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the budget amendment for the 2019-2020 fiscal year?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the budget amendment for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Awesome. James, anything else?
Thursday night meeting, what do y'all want, drinks?
You say Thursday night, it's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, okay, 4 o'clock when the meeting starts here.
What kind of drinks?
No, City Hall.
Coke, tea. Sorry, Clinton.
Coffee strong. I'm good.
Anybody else want anything else?
No.
Okay.
Coffee and water.
Good for me. 4 o'clock.
Y'all welcome to be here. Drew's already got us set up and a backup plan as well.
All right.
We'll actually be able to talk to
This is
them.
the banquet we usually go to.
Yes.
Well, then who's bringing the steaks?
Well, Paul actually said today, he goes, soup?
Soup?
Remember?
No. Zelda Beth was on that council. Boy, okay. Anything else? Council members? On anything? One, you good?
We're good.
Perfect.
Grant? Everything well?
Good.
Okay. All right.
Is
Motion?
Clinton still on Zoom? I mean,
Is he?
Brian
Brian?
Walton still on Zoom?
Brian, we didn't have a vote on anything. I think everybody's good. We appreciate you tuning in and being here with us.
Be here.
And we will show that you attended the council meeting, okay? We zoomed him. He was here, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We could have had him.
Sound a little
We
raspy.
could have, I could have had him pray over
That
the
would have been
microphone.
cool.
That would have been
Zoom
good.
prayer.
Okay. Okay, motion dismissed?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's go home.
Got it.